Hello and welcome to the channel Gone with Gandalf, and once again we're back with the Woodland Realm. Now I had a look at the previous video, it seemed to do okay, so I'm pressing on with one more of these kinds of fast forwardy videos if you like, and then there's going to be one final episode after this, but more of that at the end of this video then. And Harad has nearly gone, not quite yet, and then in terms of our settlements, once again, it's just like kind of building up the settlements, and Rakyaburg in particular, I think can become big business. But in terms of the war, Thranduil takes Onodrith, and yeah, there's a few more scuffles in there, and we're making really good headway against Isengard now, and lots of retraining, lots of experience, and then the northern armies are also on their way south. So really, I think at this point, we've taken out a few Isengard armies. There's a few more to go, and, you know, then it's kind of like the slow demise of Isengard, perhaps. But we'll get on to that, I think.
Fight to the end.
Just a quick note, though, that I really like playing with the Hin Adar. It's a lot easier to do when you're not having a time thing for, like, when you're recording a video live. You can, like, play around, get them in the exact point where you want them to shoot from, and then just absolutely wreck everything. But then also it's nice just to get Thranduil in for a close, up close and personal charge on an Uruk-hai bodyguard. He really does absolutely annihilate them. And also, to set the scene, Legolas is still in Dunland, and he has taken Burig, but there's just so many Dunlandings coming constantly, I believe. So we're probably going to have to try and hold the fort. It would be nice to perhaps go and take Dunlarak, but I don't know if it's possible, because we're kind of focusing purely on Isengard at this point. And if we split our forces, then we are the ones to get divided and conquered. As we roll on to the 132nd turn, we are actually still making 6 grand a turn before, you know, building things. So it's not like that's going too poorly. It's just we are building a lot of things. So it's good to invest, and then, you know, like, we could easily make money by just not spending anything.
Fight to the end.
If it looks like you're going to go bankrupt, though, that means that you've just got enough troops to push forward, and that's kind of like the cue to do so. And Thranduil then, he takes Ginyard, and the backup general clears up a few stragglers as well, along with our ballista, and we really are steamrolling through, and with the hope actually that, because Gondor are still alive, we could potentially save them. I don't know how they're still surviving, and Dol Amroth as well, presumably. And Dale is actually coming slightly into our lands again, which is a bit disconcerting. They are, of course, at war with our ally Dorwinion, and hopefully they do not attack us. We can also train troops now in Ostin Athil, which has really grown remarkably fast. And with those troops, we'd kind of hope to potentially buff up Legolas's army so he can actually move out, rather than us just having a defensive war against Dunland. But they have so many numbers that we just have to whittle them down first, I think. But eventually, we should be able to march out. As we swiftly move on to the 133rd turn, this is when we actually came up to a very large army of Isengard. Or actually, well, it's not very large, but it's certainly a stack. And they had some trolls, or Isengard trolls if you like. And we managed to take a couple of them out with our ballista, because ballistas are really good at shooting at monsters, despite the fact that they've got, I think, 6 or 5 hit points, I can't remember. One ballista bolt will kill them outright, so taking a few trolls out before they meet our line was definitely a really good thing. But they had so many archers that actually our own cavalry had lots of troubles, but in the end we were able to smash them up. And with that, I think we probably, had a good time just rolling on into the next settlement, because that's kind of what Thranduil's doing. He's like the battering ram. He's going to go as far as he can. I think we're going to try and get to Aldburg. Yes, and so we take 3 really fast regions, and then Sidhpantion, with any reinforcements that he gets, he's going to then sweep up the rest. Or that is the plan anyway. And also, Anduin took Rudaur, or Rudaur, rather. It's not Ru, it's Ru. Because if it was Ru, then it would be Rhydaur. I'm just correcting myself, because I watch a lot of Galu videos. He says Rudaur, but yes, Rudaur. It's a very minor thing. It's mainly for my own benefit. But I don't think I got a message for the goblins as like destruction. But Anduin did take that region, and the goblins are no more, as I just had a quick look through my diplomacy scrolls. And I think if we just take Isengard out, we'll have a really easy time taking Dunland. We can then sweep in from the south through the Gap of Rohan. In the 134th turn, Harad did actually get destroyed. So down in the south, there's just the AA, Khand, and Mordor now, I think. And our Blitzkrieg continues with Aldburg. We took Aldburg as well. We renamed that. You'll see that in a moment. But Sidhpantion did take Aldburg. And from here, then, we can move north, west to Edoras, and then even Helm's Deep. Isengard armies, they're kind of largely destroyed now. And if you have a look at what they're bringing up against us now, they're largely like their militia, their lowest tier units. But we are going to have to wait for reinforcements now before going over the River Isen, and let Sidhpantion take Edoras and Helm's Deep. Anduin attacked Angmar. Sidhpantion, so they're going to be having a war over there, which is good news, because I think they're at war with our allies, the High Elves, so they're and they're against the Dunlandings as well. So they could definitely use that help. And Sidhpantion sallies out of Aldburg, same old, same old. They just bring in some dregs. They think they can win because they got so much armor, but it doesn't help them out when the players commanding the army in the same way as it does in Auto Resolve. And then moving on, Thranduil also sallies out. Because for the same reason, they're just really annoying. The way they think they can win, but they can't. Although actually, this was a very large army. So we did have to use the towers. And the towers here are really, really good. These are like the... because this was a Northman settlement. They've got really strong towers. Really strong towers. Much better than the elven cities. So we were able to utilize them a little bit, although, they didn't get that many kills. It's mostly our archers, and in particular, despite some arcing shots, the Hrydaur came out on top, taking out loads of enemies with their very few men and very few volleys. And then we attack towards Edoras, because there's some armies there, and indeed then, here we're going to show a bit of a fly around Edoras. This is what it looks like. There's like the Hall of Meduseld, and a very, very steep incline, and it's very difficult to attack this settlement. It's very easy to defend, unless you're like Rohan and you've got loads of cavalry, because cavalry aren't very good in a settlement. So, if you've got an infantry and missile-based army, this settlement would be very, very easy to defend. Can you imagine just having a ballista or catapult or something on the town square up there and then just shooting down? Oh, it'd be glorious. But in the end, we were able to take them down, even just by with our archers, in fact, sending them into melee, because we have very little dedicated melee infantry left in this army. And, so we take Edoras.
We protect the elven lands.
Legolas was just besieged in Burrig. You know, there's just so many dun landings, so many sally outs. I can't be bothered to show them all. But now we are making 9,000 a turn. Despite the reduced treasury, you might think that, oh, he looks like he's probably going to run out very soon. But no, we're doing okay. We're doing okay. Or decent. And then we go in and attack Helm's Deep with Hebion. That's his name. This is like one of our backup generals. Unfortunately, Sidhpantion had to stay behind in Aldburg because we couldn't keep the public order down. I did worry a little bit here because we only came in here with a single ballista, and you know, we missed a few shots, so I put them right up in front of the gate, and then eventually we were able to make it work. And here's another fly around this custom settlement, and there's a very cool passage that, you know, you can get from in the keep itself. There's like 2 tiers of walls. You can go between them. There's a little passageway there, and you can kind of get on the walls as we did with the Hin Daur. Now, sadly, the Uruk-hai bodyguard did follow us up there. But we just like shot them a little bit. So we took some casualties with the Hinadar, but we did manage to rescue them as well. But our heavy infantry now is it's so good, and see them in action, despite the fact that it's very late game. It takes a very long time to get them rolling, but once you do, it's just glorious. They just smash all the opposition.
It's a clear victory.
So we took Helm's Deep as well. It's a very nice settlement to have. In fact, they even had a Royal Pole Turners Guild in here, which is the 2nd tier of the melee weapon guild, which usually you can only get 1, unless you capture someone else's. And actually, I think we also did get the 2nd tier of Horse Breeders Guild. It doesn't really affect us that much, though. And then, as we roll on, it's very confusing as to, because I'm looking at the Isengard armies, they're actually marching away with our spies. I can see them like going down, like back towards Gund. Like, they're not focusing on us. They're still trying to beat Gondor by the looks of it. So I don't know how that's going. And Dol Amroth as well. They seem to be doing okay still. They're hanging on. The fact that Mordor are fighting in so many other wars has taken the focus off them, which has really helped them out. And it's now helping me out. It looks like we actually attacked... I would have said a little late, but it turns out it was an okay time. Not too late. But despite the fact that we are beating them, we do have to wait before going off some more. We need to rebuild Thranduil's army. We need those reinforcements coming from our heartlands. And his army needs to rebuild. So as we move on then to the 139th turn, Thranduil is besieged again. But we did sally forth. And absolutely nothing else happened. But then as we... on the 140th turn, this is the final turn of this video, and it's going to set us up very nicely for the next, or the finale. So there's going to be one final episode left, and we've got a really solid position. We're going to take Isengard. We're hopefully going to have a 1 versus 1 against Saruman, with Thranduil's army, and I'm going to look at the Empire as a whole. We're going to toggle Fog of War, see how the rest of the world have done, and all that. And it's going to be a live recording. It's not going to be like this where I am just voice-overing this after. I played for, I think, 5 hours to get 10 turns of footage, which would have been like 10 episodes. So the last 2 episodes I've condensed like half an hour's footage from like about 20 episodes. And I don't want these to go over 30 episodes because, as people have said, you know, you look at these videos and like they started so long ago, you might be so far behind that you don't want to start the new campaign. So there. And I didn't want to not finish this. I wanted to finish this campaign before starting another one. And that will be shortly in the pipeline. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed it. Like it if you liked it. Do comment I want to know how you guys feel about this. So, you know, I'm not just wasting my time, perhaps. And, but thank you very much for following along with this series. I'm Game with Gandalf. Good